Hey, I'm ChristopherJMUA and welcome back to my channel. Unless you've never been here, of course, then welcome. I'm glad you stopped by. As you saw from the title, we are going to be doing a full face of makeup from Almay. I personally have not played around with a whole lot of Almay makeup. Honestly, the only reason I even know of Almay is because I've seen so many people with so many of those little like eyeshadow quads, how they always have like the little four, well obviously it's a quad, but 4 little eyeshadows in just a little eyeshadow pan. I've seen those like throughout my entire life, I feel like, and that's really the only reason I even know the name Almay and from commercials on TV. But I haven't tried any Almay products, and I was looking around at Ulta and I was trying to figure out what kind of drugstore brand could I keep it pretty affordable and semi-low cost while still being able to do a full face of makeup. And one of those brands was Almay. Granted, it was still like right at $100, so it wasn't the cheapest I could possibly get. I probably could have gone with like Essence or Elf, but it still was relatively affordable. It wasn't like $500 for a full face of makeup. Granted, this is probably nowhere near the affordability of my full face of makeup from the Dollar Tree, which I will link in a card right up here so you can check that out. Not gonna be anywhere near that kind of cost because that was like below $20, I think, and that was a full face. So if you wanna see what Almay products I got, how much they were, and if these products actually work, then stay exactly where you are, keep doing exactly what you're doing, and keep on watching. I forgot to tell you guys, we also have a special guest today. His name is Goliath. Right here. Isn't he cute? He came over yesterday and he knocked on the door, introduced himself, and I welcomed him right in, and he stayed the night, and he's still here today. I think I would have rather his brother David stay the night, but Goliath is here. Before we jump into the actual application of the products, I did want to show you guys that I picked up some of these Almay makeup wipes from Ollie's. I don't know if Ollie's is like a national chain or not. Essentially, it's like, I guess, an affordable Walmart. Regardless, I wanted to get some makeup wipes while I was there, and I thought it was really ironic that the only makeup wipes they had were Almay makeup wipes. But it was only $2.79 for a 25 pack. So I thought that was pretty affordable. One is a bag of hydrating makeup wipes and the other is night soothing makeup wipes. Now let's go ahead and jump into the actual makeup application. Here's my bag of amazingness. I don't know why they gave me such a big bag actually. Now the Almay section at Ulta is one bay, like one shelving unit column. It's only one of them. So the selection wasn't the biggest, but like I said, I was trying to go through different brands to see what kind of full face I could come up with. And like with Milani as an example, I started putting products in my basket with that section, and by the time I got to eyeshadow, I was already at like 60 bucks, and I still had a lot of steps left. So I just kind of stopped on that one and just switched to a more affordable brand because I was trying to go really, really affordable. I'm not made of money here. Nonetheless, if I am missing something, I will just substitute it with something that I already have just to fill in the gaps along the way. I want to show you first that I got these Almay eye makeup remover pads from Ulta, and these were $8.49. I was running out of my Neutrogena eye makeup remover, so I thought this would be a good replacement for that. Maybe, I don't really know yet, but here's for hoping. The first product I'm going to use is the Almay 5-in-1 Correcting Primer. This was $12.99, and it's really cool because it has all these little green and purple beads inside of it. So I'm curious to see if those green and purple beads are gonna actually come through whenever I pump it out. So what is this supposed to do for me? Lightweight formula can be used alone or underneath foundation, instantly smooths and helps to color correct skin, blurs imperfections, improves overall look of skin, hypoallergenic, dermatologist tested, and oil free. Directions: smooth primer onto face using fingertips and blend outwards. Apply before foundation for a perfectly prepped canvas. Well, who doesn't love a perfectly prepped canvas? I don't really know how much to use. Ugh, it looks so weird. It is definitely green and purple. Here, I'm gonna see if I can zoom in and show you. Isn't it icky? Ugh. It's so gross. It's clear, but the green and blue stuff is suspended inside of the clear stuff. So since it's set to blend outward, I'm just gonna pat it in the middle of my face, I guess. This is so weird. It's got little chunks of color in it too. I don't really know how much to use, so naturally I've probably used too much. Okay, let's see. Wow, why do I feel like that actually helped with my complexion? I'm a lot less red looking. It kind of evened out my skin tone, but I think that also made my under eyes look a little bit darker. because now that everything else is all like smooth and even, my under eyes look a little less polished, if you will. I've gotta say though, the ultra hydrating Drink It Up makeup wipes kinda don't smell the greatest. I don't know exactly what it is that they smell like, but it's weird, and I don't really like it. It says it has moisturizing rice milk in it, so maybe it's rice milk I'm smelling, don't know. So far though, I do like that primer. I like that it kind of just made all of my skin look not so irritated, not so inflamed, not so red. Just kind of evened out my complexion. That's kind of nice. Now we're gonna try the Almay 4-in-1 Blemish Eraser, and it's the Almay Clear Complexion Foundation, I guess. It actually has salicylic acid in it, so that should help treat blemishes. And that's kind of cool, a foundation that actually helps take care of acne instead of clogging your pores and making acne worse. And this was $14.99. I got the shade 300 Naked is what it's called, and there are no instructions with this, so I'm just gonna use a brush and apply it all over and see what it looks like. And I'm gonna use my JS1 from the Morphe X Jeffree Star brush collection. I don't really know how much to use, so I'm just gonna start with 2 pumps, just in case. Watch, this is gonna be the next Juvia's place. I just realized how much I actually didn't get and wasn't there. I'd say that was a pretty good shade match so far. Seems to be blending in fairly well. This is definitely very, very light coverage. I don't even think I'm to medium yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and go in with 2 more pumps. Okay, so this is like super light coverage. I mean, like not quite as light as a tinted moisturizer, but it's really close to a tinted moisturizer. You can still see I have the redness coming through on my nose a little bit, and my beard is like still definitely 5 o'clock shadow, no doubt. So coverage wise, not my most favorite foundation, but it looks good. It's slightly luminous, it's not grabbing onto any dry patches, and it's not clumping up anywhere. It really just kind of evens out the skin tone, but doesn't take away from skin texture, if that makes sense. It kind of looks like my skin, but with no discoloration. Now we have the Almay Clear Complexion Concealer. Covers, clears, and calms. And I got the shade Light Medium. This was $2.29. I repeat, $2.29. So let's go ahead and open this up. See what the applicator looks like. Okay, just almost a standard doe foot. It's really, really small though. It's a very tiny doe foot. It's kind of cute. Oh yay, it's not too light or too dark. That's the only thing that I hate about trying to shade match at a drugstore or like for drugstore products. It's because you don't know. You have no idea if it's gonna be the right shade or not. Not until you get home and put it on. I'm almost a little bit worried because I feel like this concealer is more coverage than the foundation is, and I don't want it to look funny, but I'm just putting it on like I would normally. It feels so thick. And I'm gonna blend it out with my Morphe Jeffree Star JS3 brush. Wow, this dries super quick. Oh my gosh. Coverage wise, also pretty light. I can still see some circlage coming through and a little bit of darkness, but it was brightening, which that was just the shade. But it still looks good. It doesn't look bad. I would suggest if you're using these, wherever you don't get more coverage at from the foundation, I would go in with the concealer to correct any of the coverage that you couldn't get out of the foundation, which I'm going to do right around my nostrils because I have some redness there. And that's really the only place I think I want to add any more coverage to. Now with this concealer, it's kind of sitting on the under eye a little weird. I think just because it's such light coverage, it's not making like a smooth, even layer over my under eyes. It's sinking into my skin, so it's showing just the texture that I have already a little bit more than I would like personally. But like I said, I believe that just because it's light coverage. I am gonna add 1 more layer of concealer underneath my eyes, and once I do, I'm gonna set it and probably bake just a little bit. And this is where we run into a little problem because Almay at Ulta didn't have any complexion products aside from foundation and concealer. So there was no powder, there was no blush, there was no contour, there were no powder complexion products. So I'm gonna be substituting my own items in for those steps. I'm gonna go ahead and finish those off camera, and once I do, I will be right back. Okay, I have finished contour, bronzer, and blush. Those things are done. Now, after setting this concealer, I'll say you have to work with this really quick. If you put this on and blend it out, you need to be ready to set it pretty much immediately. and don't crease your eyes at all in between you putting it on and you setting it, because it's gonna be noticeable. Also, I think I figured out that what I meant by thicker earlier with this is that it's more like a cream. Instead of like the normal concealer consistency you feel where it's a little more liquidy, this seems like it's a little more creamy, because I was blending it out and my eyelashes got stuck in it because it was so thick. It's not thick coverage wise, that's for sure. You get like light to almost medium out of this, but it is thick with texture. So yeah, that's the concealer. Also, this was probably not the best video to do this with, but this is the first time I ever tried the Too Faced Do You Translucent Setting Powder, and it is very, very luminous and very dewy. So this foundation is gonna be kind of hard to tell what exactly it looks like coming through. It looks like a natural finish because it's so light. Since it doesn't have a whole bunch of coverage, it's more like skin-like serum-y, like tinted moisturizer. Just so you know. So what you see on my skin right now is not exactly the foundation. It is the slightly luminous foundation with a very luminous powder on top. So I'm double luminous. Speaking of luminous, we are now going to go in with the Almay Make Them Jelly Highlight. This was $3.79, and I gotta say I love the packaging of this. On the top, it's like a crystal or like a diamond. It's got the little fragment cuts all the way around, and it's really, really cool. I really like it. It's very pretty. This one is in the shade Unicorn Light. And let's go ahead and open it up. I'm so excited about highlighter. Ooh, that one's kind of messy. Oh wow, that is very messy. It's stuck to the lid, and it's like, I think maybe it's been on its side for a while because none of it is stuck to the middle anymore. It's all on the outside. That's really weird. I guess I'm just gonna touch what's on the lid. It doesn't really have a smell. It smells kind of like makeup, really. Yeah, just like makeup. I'm gonna use a little bit of what's on the lid and oh my gosh, it is like silicone. It is jelly for sure. And it's coming off just like glittery on my hand. Wow. Let me actually try to reach in here and get some. Oh, it's all jelly. That is so weird. Wow. Ugh. It feels like slime. It feels like the slime that like you make, you know? My little sister used to always want me to make that with her. I'm just gonna try and pat some of this on and hope that it doesn't take my foundation off. Well, that's cute. I mean, all that really did was put some glitter on my face. Is that all that was supposed to happen? Oh, wow. It shifts. So we have like yellowy white dewy luminosity color to pink. Well, that's kind of neat. It's weird, but kind of neat. It's so glittery. I think it's primarily glitter, honestly. Let's see if I can put this on my nose. Okay, so this is definitely a pat highlighter. This is not a blend or drag highlighter at all. Well, I don't know. You can kind of drag it a little bit. I'm just so afraid it's gonna take the foundation off. Oh wow, that was probably too much. This dries very thick though. Like it goes on kind of thick, but it dries very thick. Like it dries like its own layer of jelly. Almost like how liquid latex dries, but it doesn't have any kind of tightening effect. It just dries like it's a layer of jelly on your skin. Okay, time to seal that bad boy back up. This could be fun all over the body. That could be really cool. Now I'm just gonna blend a little bit of the edge of this out because this highlighter is much, much more intense than I meant it to be. And I'm also gonna take just a little bit of powder and go over that again. Okay, well, I guess what's there is there. There's nothing I can do about it at this point. Next, we have the Almay Brow Pencil. This is the Get Your Fill Brow Pencil in the shade Brunette 802. And it has a spoolie on one side and the pencil itself on the other. And this retail value is $8.49. The spoolie looks nice and the pencil side is a triangle piece. So we do have a point that should help us out on making hair-like strokes. Gonna go ahead and brush out my brows with the spoolie side. Man, there's glitter in that setting powder, but there's also now glitter in that highlighter. So I have glitter all over my face at this point. That's the main thing that's falling out of my brows is little glitter particles. You know, if you wanna know a little trick with cleaning your brows out, if you have a lot of brow hair or even just a little bit of brow hair, but you get a lot of like powder or foundation or concealer or like little particles of stuff in your brows while you're doing your makeup before you get to doing your brows, you can actually squeeze a makeup wipe with 2 fingers, get it where your fingers are all like oily feeling, and on your spoolie, clean it off. And that's also putting the makeup remover on the spoolie and then you can use the wet spoolie and clean your brows out with the makeup remover, and it works really, really well on breaking down all the makeup on your brows instead of just trying to brush it off. It actually helps out a lot. Anyway, now I'm gonna go in with the actual brow pencil side and start to try and do my brows. You know, one way you can always tell if a brow pencil is gonna be good or not, whenever it comes to drugstore typically, is how waxy it is. Oh, wow. You see the little dot I put there? That's just one dot, just from barely touching my brow. I'm kind of scared of this now, if it's that pigmented. Okay, so far I'm noticing that this pencil is very, very pigmented. It doesn't seem like it's very waxy. I don't know that I've ever even used a pencil that was this pigmented. It's honestly kind of scary pigmented because the moment you touch your brow, pigment lays down. And I don't know how much I like that much pigment. I feel like I'd have to kind of work with it a little bit to really figure out if it's something that I'm enjoying. But I do like that it's so pigmented, it's fast. That part's kind of nice. You know, I don't think I've ever said this before, but I almost think this brow pencil might be a little bit too pigmented. I mean, it looks good and it's the right shade and everything, just it lays down so much color when you touch it that you almost have to use the spoolie just to move around the color so you don't apply too much. And I don't know if I like that. Okay, brows are complete. What do we think? Good? Okay, even if you didn't say good, let's just say good so we can move on. They're okay, honestly. They're a little blocky because it was such a dark color, and what are you gonna do? But at least I don't have like perma surprise, you know, like super high arches. Anyways, now it's time to move on to the eyes. And I think I'm most excited about this part because, like I was talking about before, how I knew the brand Almay was because of their eyeshadow quads. So naturally, I had to get an eyeshadow quad. This is the Almay eyeshadow quad in the name Individualist. I don't know if it's like in the style or in the name, but it's the Individualist palette. And I got this for $6.99. And I also wanted to pair this with the Almay Velvet Foil Cream Shadow. This was only $1.99. And they had like 8 different shades. I actually did get 8 different shades at first, but then I brought it up to the register and saw how much the total was when I was ready to check out. So I went ahead and put 7 others back because I figured for now there was no reason to have all 8 of them. Just $1.99 was a really good deal and I thought I didn't want to pass it up, but oh well, you win some, you lose some. Speaking of shades, this one is in the shade Astro Girl. And I thought that maybe these two would pair together well. I believe the packaging of these is the same color as the actual shadow itself. So I figured the eyeshadow palette would get me those deeper, darker browns. And this could be more like a lighter, tannish, almost white kind of color, like cream shade. So I thought maybe we could pair these together and make a good eyeshadow look out of it. Now it says to use this cream shadow with your fingertips and to blend thoroughly. It's got high intensity color and crease, smudge, fade proof all day. But if I'm supposed to blend this with my finger, where should I put it? I was planning on just putting this on my lid. We'll figure it out as we go. Who cares? Now usually I would prime my eyes with my P. Louise eyeshadow base. I'm not going to do that this time because I want to see what this would be like if I only had these products. So I'm gonna use the Almay concealer and put that on my eyelids and prime my eyes with it instead and see what happens. I feel like I'm kind of doing the eyeshadow dirty by doing this, but I don't feel like you should have to have an eyeshadow base from the UK to use an Almay eyeshadow, you know? And I'm just blending this out with the JS3, same brush that I used for the concealer the first time. Okay, my eyeshadow concealer is now blended out. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the eyeshadow palette. I think 2 of these shades are matte and 2 are shimmer. No, 1 is matte, 1 is satin, 1 is metallic. I'm gonna have to swatch this to be sure. It's really hard to tell inside the pans. So I'm just gonna do what I think is matte, what I think is satin, what I think is shimmer, and what I think is glitter. Now let's really see. So matte, satin, metallic, shimmer? Huh, I think that's exactly right. Maybe the satin one is a little more metallic than I thought. Oh no, yeah, that looks exactly right. Cool, so that means I'm gonna take this matte shade right here and start blending that into my crease. Actually, I lied. I'm gonna use the lighter shade. This is more of a satin shade. This one was the matte one. This one's a satin one. I'm gonna use the satin one first and start building that up in my crease. I just wanna start to add some definition, but if I don't have to, I don't wanna go with the darkest color in the palette yet. Ooh, that's kinda nice. And keep in mind, I didn't set the concealer. This is strictly shadow right on concealer. So far, this shade is working very nicely. It's putting down color, it's buildable. It's blending out. Don't really see anything wrong with it specifically. I believe that's blended out about as much as I want it to be. Kind of have a whole smoky vibe going on. I'm sort of living for it. Now I'm gonna take a smaller blending brush and go in to the deepest matte shade, the one that I was gonna use at first, and put that even deeper into my crease. Now that both shades are blended in seamlessly, I'm gonna take this shimmery shade right here, and I'm gonna put that on my brow bone and hope that it comes off as like a, almost like a highlighter shade. It's kind of hard to tell in the palette if it's gonna work or not, so I'm just hoping. Oh wow, no. I don't know if I like that. Well, maybe I do. Well, that's not really what I was anticipating, but it can work, I guess. No, I don't like that. Never mind, that can't work. I'm gonna take that off, actually, because I just don't like it. Okay, now I'm just gonna blend that first shadow back over that. So obviously I'm gonna have to improvise for a brow bone highlight if I want a brow bone highlight, because there are no real highlighting shades in this palette. It depends on what this looks like, actually. So that's all I'm gonna do with the powder palette. Now I'm gonna take the liquid eyeshadow, or the cream eyeshadow, rather. Let's open this up and see what this looks like. Yay, we have a safety seal. Love that. All right, so let's swatch this and see what we're working with. Oh, okay. This is like, well, you'll see. This is white. That is what we're working with. It blends out to a white with a pink undertone, or a pink reflect. It has a little bit of a pink reflect. So like it says, I am going to use my finger with that. I'm gonna squeeze a little bit more on the back of my hand, just to use that as kind of my palette, essentially. And I'm gonna take my pinky, dip it into the cream shadow, and just start patting that on my lid. Oh man, I have to have more control than this. I'm gonna have to use a brush. I know it says to use your finger to pat it on, but I think that's if you're like only putting this on, and I'm not only putting this on. So I'm actually gonna use a flat brush and blend this out instead. I'm pretty much just treating this like concealer for a cut crease. Just since it's something I've never used, I don't really know what to expect out of it, or how it's gonna work. Now that it's all applied with the brush, I am gonna go back over it with my finger and just pat out the texture of it, because I think that's why you're supposed to use your finger with it, just so it doesn't have any like brush strokes or anything. Oh, it's lifting up. Wow, really? Okay, well now, as I'm applying this, once I'm going back over it to get more coverage, it's lifting up what I put down already every time I touch my finger down. So that's really annoying. I don't really know what to do now. I guess I'm gonna take that off and then try it again, maybe? It's all I can really think to do. Okay, that took the majority of it off. So now I'm gonna take some more concealer, pat some more on, blend it out, try not to cover up all the work that I did. My eyeshadow already. Now I need to fix the eyeshadow that I did lose, which luckily wasn't a whole lot. Okay, now we are back to what we had before. So let's try this again and see if this works. I still have some in the back of my hand, but I don't really want to use it on a brush, and now I don't want to use it on a sponge. I'm just afraid as to what's gonna happen. Oh, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna take some on my pinky, but I'm gonna blend some of it out first, like get it where it's not textured, and then take what's blended out already and start to put that on my lid. Okay, yeah, that is working a whole lot better, like a whole lot better. Okay, so lesson learned with this stuff. I would honestly say go in with this before any powder, like any eyeshadow if you're using it, and use a very sparing amount to begin with. It almost seems like it has to heat up to be able to mesh with your skin and actually, like, I don't know, lay where it's supposed to lay and blend in nicely. That was definitely something to learn to work with though, that's no doubt. Okay, so now that that's applied, I'm gonna clean up under my eyes because that stuff got everywhere. And I'm also going to take my eyeshadow and clean up my crease again around my lid so that the cream shadow will only be on my lid again. Now I'm also gonna take the darker shade from the eyeshadow palette and put that on the outer V of my lid and try to bring just a little bit of dimension to the cream shadow that I put on my lid. I think I'm now done with the eyeshadow. I do believe, pretty sure. Yeah, I'm done. Now it's time to use the Almay Nice Ink liquid liner. This claims all day color, water resistant, and shake before use. Good to know. And this was $7.99. It says it has a flexible tip. You can make bold or fine lines, and it's in the shade black. Okay, now personally, I'm not the biggest fan of liquid liner, only because I'm terrible at it, but I also love it because it looks so good. So if I can get the line right, I love it. If I can't, I hate it. Let's see what today's like. Man, if that's supposed to be a brush, that is a bad brush. That's like putting plastic on my eye. Is that like stiff? Oh no, okay, it's like a felt tip. Why did I expect something different? I really don't know how much I love this whole felt tip thing. Or what did it say? Did it say felt? It just says liquid eyeliner. Flexible tip, that's what it says. It really doesn't feel very flexible. Yeah, I'm not getting any flex out of this. I'm not even getting any glide. I honestly think this applicator might be dried up. Not that I hate this wing or anything. I actually kind of like this wing. It's very big and robust. But this applicator, let me do this on the back of my hand. I mean, it's okay, I guess. I don't like this tip. It's almost like it's a felt tip that doesn't have any give. Like, it doesn't really wiggle at all. Not wiggle. It just doesn't have any give. It says it's flexible, but it's really not. Maybe it's just gonna take me a while to get the hang of it. Maybe that's what my problem is. Maybe I'm just not used to it. I don't know. That is a big wing though. I do know that. Definitely know that. So I had a messed up line and I tried to fix it and my wing got bigger. So I figured I'd make it an even bigger wing. And here we are. Here we have a bigger wing. Now let's try to duplicate it. I think I'm officially done with the liquid eyeliner at this point. If I wasn't, I should be. Now, one thing I forgot to do that I wanted to do that I didn't do was I wanted to take the deepest shade in this palette and smoke it out of my lower lash line. I don't know why I forgot to do that, but I did. So I'm gonna do that really quick. Now the shadow is smoked out of my lower lash line, and that made the eyes kind of come together a little bit more. Now I'm gonna use the Almay top of the line eyeliner in black. And this was $8.49 retail value. This one is just an eyeliner pencil, not an actual liquid. And it says it has vitamin E in it and a built-in sharpener and no smudging. It's cool it has vitamin E in it. So the sharpener is on the bottom and it looks like that. So that means that this is a retractable pencil. Yes, so you can bring up the pencil side and sharpen it that way, which I'm gonna have to because this tip is broken. Oh, well, not broken enough to not use apparently. I thought it was just gonna chip off if I started using it, but it looks like you can still line with it. And I'm gonna use this in my lower waterline. Oh, it broke off. Where'd it go? There it is. I actually don't think I'm gonna need to sharpen it to use it though. No, I need to sharpen it. I tried. The only thing I hate about using sharpeners that come in pencils is you don't have any way to clean them and it gets so gross in there. Okay, let's try that again. Oh yes, that is the kind of pigment we love. My eyes are starting to water, so my eyeliner is already running before I even finished putting it on. That's bad. Let's try to clean that up a little bit. I'm actually just gonna blend out the running eyeliner with some eyeshadow and make it look like it's supposed to be like that. And there we go. Now it looks like it was supposed to be done. Now we're gonna use the Almay Multi-Benefit Mascara. This shows it's the all-around lash look formulated with keratin for extra lash love. And this one is in the shade Black Brown. I did not mean to get this. I meant to get black. Oh well, we're here, we have it. Let's use Black Brown. Hey, at least this is the first Black Brown mascara I've ever had. I like the color of this container. This blue is really pretty. And we have a very basic mascara wand. Nothing really fancy about it. It's just a mascara wand. Ooh, actually, I am going to curl my eyelashes first. Now time for mascara. Oh. Eyes are now completely done. So now we get to move on to lips. For lips, I'm gonna be using the Almay Lip Vibes Go Wild lipstick. And this one was $7.99. And I really, really love this packaging. It's like a maroon with some flowers and some plants and ferns and a tiger, and it's super like rainforesty, which hence the word go wild. It's just really neat packaging and I love it. And then the lipstick itself is here. It smells really good. Like, I wanna say vanilla or chocolate, maybe chocolate. I don't know exactly what it is, but it smells really, really good. Ooh, and it's a really pretty color. Kind of on the sheerer side. It's not really too opaque. Yeah, it's really not opaque at all. However, it is a very pretty color and it is very comfortable on the lips. It feels almost like I have a chapstick on, so that part's kind of nice. I don't know if it's gonna dry down. I don't think it's a matte lipstick. I think it's just a standard lipstick formula. And I can still see it's a little more sheer. I can still see my lip color through the lipstick, and I can kind of see where my lips touch and separate again. There's like a little line. I feel like this would be really nice on like a super light kind of makeup day. Almost if you were looking for like that gloss type coverage, I feel like this lipstick would be like that. Just a little on the sheerer side. I also got this Almay Lip Goddess Gloss, and this one is in the shade Rainbow. This was $2.49. I think I might have gotten it on sale. I don't remember. And obviously this is probably not gonna look the greatest with this look, nor is it gonna look the greatest on top of lipstick, especially a sheerer lipstick, but I'm gonna use it anyway. It is so hot in my beauty room. I'm sweating and I can't open anything because I'm sweating. Oh, we just have a doe foot applicator, and let's see what this looks like. Oh wow, that's super purple. Super purple. I thought it was gonna be more on the clearer side with a purple tint, but no, it is purple. Huh, that's not so bad. It's actually kind of pretty. It definitely does not smell like the lipstick. It smells, I don't know what it smells like. It smells not the greatest, honestly, but it's bearable. It's actually really pretty though. I kind of like it. It's not too shabby. And surprisingly enough, it worked kind of well with the lipstick. And it was really cool because the lipstick didn't transfer back onto the wand for the gloss, so I didn't get a bunch of lipstick in my gloss. So that was pretty nice. Now that actually concludes everything that I got. So really the only things that I was missing were contour, bronzer, blush, and setting spray. I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. So let's go over this. The Almay 5-in-1 Primer. I actually like this. I think this, just like it said, would be good without makeup as well, because it does kind of even the skin tone. It gets rid of redness and it kind of just evens out the complexion so you don't have any of that, I guess you would call it inflammation, I guess. Just discoloration. It cleans it up, makes it look good. So I would buy this again. Then the Almay Clear Complexion Foundation. This is great if you like the lighter coverage. I kind of did enjoy the lighter coverage. I could see me using this as like an everyday on the go sort of thing, almost like a tinted moisturizer because it is such a light coverage. I don't have any real major skin problems, so I don't need a whole lot of coverage unless I want it. And that kind of varies day to day for me. Just depends on what I feel like, depends on the look. And this would be good for me on some of the lighter coverage days, or if I'm having any kind of breakout, which does happen from time to time, this would be good, especially since it has salicylic acid in it. That would be really cool to treat the acne while I'm getting coverage out of it. So I would give this a recommend if it's something you like. The Clear Complexion Concealer. With 2 coats, I'd say it's acceptable. It's not my favorite concealer. I definitely have others that I would use above this, but I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's not worth buying because it does what it's supposed to do. It gives really good coverage under the eyes. It even brightened, which that's again gonna come down to the shade, but it gave me an acceptable level of coverage and looked really good under my eyes. It did dry super fast, so you have to work with it fast and you have to keep that in mind. But if you like all of those things, then I would say definitely worth the buy. Then the Make Them Jelly Highlight. I kind of love this. I've never tried a jelly highlighter. I didn't think I was going to like it that much because I don't really like liquid highlighters on my face because typically they pick up foundation rather than going smoothly on top of foundation. But this is actually kind of fun. I actually really did like this. It didn't pick up foundation. It didn't break down foundation. It laid over it nicely. I would like to see this in a formula that doesn't have glitter in it because glitter's okay. I'm not a huge fan of it on my face. Within like a highlighter formula. I say that, but everything I have on my face has glitter in it, ironically enough, but I'm just not a super fan of glitter, that's all. But luckily, this highlighter has enough of color and shine in the jelly that it's suspended in, and the glitter is close enough to the same color as the shine that I don't see just a bunch of dots of glitter. I also see the sheen from the highlight, and that's what I like about it. So this, definitely worth a buy for me. And I would probably buy that over and over again, but in all different shades too. Now, the brow pencil. For me, this was just way too pigmented. I would rather have a little bit less of a pigmented brow pencil that I could build up instead of having something so pigmented immediately that I have to blend out instead. That's just my preference for brow pencils. You may be different. You might like the immediate buildup of pigment. I just don't. So for me, I'm not going to recommend this one. I don't like it. I would personally say it's not worth the buy. But my brows look good. Then the Individualist eyeshadow quad. I do like this. I wish it had a highlight shade, at least one shade that was lighter so you could use it as an inner corner highlight and a brow bone highlight. But I guess maybe they expect you to use like your highlighter which would make sense if it was in a makeup bag. Okay, that kind of changes things because most people have a highlighter in their makeup bag and they could use their highlighter as their brow bone highlight and their inner corner highlight. Well, this was gonna get a recommend from me anyway, so I do like this a lot. I think it's really cool because you have a shade for the crease, you have a shade to deepen the crease, you also have a lid shade. You actually technically even have 2 lid shades in here. If you wanted to do a deeper shimmer and a lighter shimmer, you could do that with it. I just think for a quad, this is a really decent variety of shades that you get. Granted, all in the same family of shades, but it's workable and I like the quality of it. I think it's really cool, especially for an on-the-go type palette. I like this. Definitely worth the buy and recommend. Now for the Velvet Foil Cream Shadow. This is tough. I think I have to use this more to know 100% for sure. For now, I'm gonna give it a not recommend and that I wouldn't buy it again because I don't like what it did. It gives way too much texture to my eyelid and I don't like that at all. That's kind of why I went so ham with my eyeliner, because I wanted to cover this up. I didn't like the way it looked. I just wanted to hide it. I do think that if I used this by itself, with nothing else, I think I might like it if I could blend out the edges. I think that might be a way that I could use it that I might enjoy it. But for now, the way I used it, the way that it performed in my eyes, I don't like it. I would not recommend this at all, even for $1.99. I just know I wouldn't buy this again. And now, the liquid liner. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not with this tip. The formula, it's pretty decent. It dries matte. You can keep a thinner line with it if you wanted to, but I need a brush. I need not this. Some kind of applicator that's different than this. I just don't like this. I don't like working with it. I didn't, the whole time I was using it, it didn't do what I wanted it to do and it didn't perform how I needed it to perform. So I won't recommend this one. I would not buy this again. Speaking of wouldn't recommend and wouldn't buy again, let's talk about the multi-benefit mascara. The only benefit I got from this is that it colored my lashes black. That's all. It had no volumizing qualities, it had no lengthening qualities. Literally, all it did was put a coat of color on my lashes. And I need a little bit more than that from my mascara. Granted, the blue is pretty, I do like that, but still, I need more than that from my mascara, so I would not recommend this. I would not buy this again. Oh, I almost forgot, the eyeliner crown. This is very black, and I do like that. And it looks like it stayed through my waterline, through my eyes watering. Mostly. It wore down a little bit on the outer edge on one eye, but not the other. Okay, so apparently it doesn't have the most staying power, but it's very pigmented. It went on smooth. I didn't have to push down super hard, and it has a sharpener in the back. So if you're balling on a budget, I think it's definitely worth the buy. Would recommend. Then the Lip Vibes Go Wild lipstick. This is tough too, because you could go with Maybelline and NYX, and they have bomb lipsticks, I think anyway, that are pigmented, creamy, and sometimes one swipe coverage. This is more on the sheer side for sure, so it depends on you. If you like a sheerer lipstick that isn't so opaque and bold, then you would love this, but I personally do not, so I would not recommend and I would not buy this again. The Goddess Gloss, I would buy again, and I definitely would recommend. Not only is this color very pretty to me, but the formula feels really nice on the lips. It's not super thick and super goopy, I guess, but it feels good. It's very comfortable. I would wear this by itself and enjoy that. Like, I could see this as a wearable everyday sort of gloss. And they also had a pretty good selection of these as well. There were like 8 or 10, I think. And I'm thinking I might go back and pick up some more of these because I really do like them. Now, last but not least, the Almay Eye Makeup Remover Pads. I don't know if I would recommend these or not yet, but I'm about to. The thing I'm doing after this is going to bed. So let's give these a shot and see what they're like. They stink. They stink so bad. They smell like nail polish remover mixed with alcohol. But it gently removes eye makeup and there's no greasy residue. To use, smooth pad over closed lid and lashes. Okay, let's see. I mean, that's not the worst eye makeup pad I've ever used. Wow, okay, that was actually pretty good. So it took 2 makeup pads and it looks like it actually got rid of the makeup. I don't even see any mascara on my lashes anymore. Granted, I barely saw mascara on my lashes before anyway. Well that's nice. Okay, well, definitely would recommend the Almay Eye Makeup Remover Pads. That was really awesome. About 2 pads per eye. with liquid liner and mascara. That's really not bad at all. And they're oil free. Now, I didn't get these at Ulta. Granted, I don't know why that matters anyway, because the point is full face of Almay, not full face of Ulta Almay. Granted, I've been using the ultra hydrating Drink It Up makeup removing pads the whole time while I've been doing my makeup, but I use it for things like while I swatch cleaning off my finger, or if I bring my eyeshadow too low, then cleaning it up, that sort of thing. So I know that these work okay for that. They're not the wettest makeup remover wipes I've ever used, and I prefer really wet makeup remover wipe. Actually, my favorite are the Neutrogena makeup removing wipes. I intentionally buy those over and over again for actual face makeup removal because I want super soaked makeup wipes so that I'm not tugging on my face. Gravity does enough damage to my face. I don't want to do any more damage, so I don't want to be pulling and dragging all over my face. And with most other makeup wipes, I have to do that to take it off. So while we're here, I'm gonna go ahead and test out the Night Soothing Makeup Removing Cleansing Towelettes. These have vanilla and chamomile to help calm and soothe your senses. Okay, let's see how these work. Ugh, they kind of smell like the other ones, and they're not very wet either. Maybe they smell a little bit better now. They still stink to me though, and I am having to push down quite hard. I'm actually gonna do half my face with this makeup remover, and then the other half of my face with my Neutrogena. Okay, honestly, that was kind of painful, and it kind of sucked, and I don't think I'm ever gonna use one of these again to take makeup off my face. I'm just gonna use them for the purpose that I got them for, which was just to clean up little messes as I go. Now, for the Neutrogena makeup wipe. Oh yeah, I can feel it already. It's super soaking wet. Oh, it feels so good. And it's so much easier because I can actually run this over my skin and it doesn't get stuck because it's not drier than the Sahara Desert. Oh yeah. And now that side's clean. So let me pick up what I missed with the Almay makeup wipes. Okay guys, and that's everything. I hope you had fun, and I hope this was interesting for you. I hope maybe you learned a little bit about some Almay products that you didn't know before. All in all, I was actually very satisfied. I mean, what, I had 1, 2, 3, 4 products that I didn't like. I'd say Almay as a brand has some pretty affordable, pretty decent products for the price. Granted, we got kind of rocky there for a second, but all in all, it was a good look. There were just a couple of things that didn't really work out for me as we went, but I had fun with it. And at the end of the day, that's all that really ever matters. So if you guys had fun, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up and let me know you did. If you want to see more looks like the one that I've created today, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. My username is the same for everything. It is simply ChristopherJMUA. And if you gain nothing out of any of my videos, please at least gain this. And that is to always remember and never forget that you're beautiful. Bye guys.